Yo, what up, YouTube? Alright, so today we're gonna do something a little different. I know this is my vlog channel. We're going to talk about traveling today. A lot of people ask me how I travel. Like, oh, you know, you've been places, or people follow me on social media. They just want to know how they can travel as well. So I'm gonna make a quick video. I'm not an expert by any means. I don't try to call myself an expert. I am a little bit experienced. I have been a few places, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can take this information, you cannot take it. It's just to, you know, just try to help, you know, a few people if they had some questions. Before we start, if your question that you may have is not answered in this video, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. The link will be in the description. You can ask me any question, or if you needed help planning a trip, or you know, anything like that, specific dates and stuff, or you had a specific question about tips or a certain place I may or may not have been. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. You can send me a message there, and I will definitely get back to you and try to help you the best that I can. I got some notes down on my phone, so for like topics or stuff like that, you know, for the video. First, I'm gonna start with like a bit of my resume. I've been to a few cities in the States. You know, I've been to Phoenix, New Orleans, LA, Vegas, Houston, you know, all around New York, Myrtle Beach, Orlando, Daytona, Miami, Denver, Nashville. I feel like I'm missing some, so I'm not 100%. Now let's get to the abroad. Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, Paris a few times, London a few times, Amsterdam a couple times, Barcelona, Lisbon, Madrid, Nice or Nice, depending on where you are. All right, well, that's that. People give me a hard time about saying Nice, like when you're abroad, it's Nice. But anyway, whatever. You got Milan, Rome, Stockholm, Budapest, Copenhagen, Berlin, Split, Cartagena, South America, Colombia, Cozumel, Mexico, Venice, Prague. I really feel like I'm missing some places on this list, but yeah. So that's a little bit of my background as far as that goes. So like I said, by any means, I'm no expert, but I have been a few places and I have done it cheaply. I am a budget traveler. If anyone ever asked me, I am a budget traveler to the end. I don't really care about how I get there. Like for instance, everyone hates Spirit Airlines, and I have absolutely no problem with Spirit Airlines. I fly Spirit often. I actually plan on flying Spirit in the next couple of weeks. One of my friends is moving to Dallas. I'm gonna fly Spirit. I got that ticket for $91 round trip. I mean, can't really beat that. So what we're gonna do is I have like a few little pointers here of things that I want to hit. God damn it, a couple topics, you know, just things that I'm gonna touch on inside of this video. The first thing that I want to talk about is being flexible. So I understand a lot of people have jobs, so this may not apply. You may have to stick to, you know, the vacation dates that you can get off, or whatever the case is. Even with that, there's a way around that as well. If you have vacation dates, like a certain allotted amount of vacation days, use your vacation days around the deals you find. Looking for deals is awesome, but when a deal finds you, that is always the best, and that's always going to be the cheapest way to travel. You may not even be looking. You may just be scrolling around the internet and a deal pops up. For instance, the other day I just saw San Francisco to Shanghai for $382 round trip. Now, I don't live in San Francisco at all, so that as just an example. That's what I mean by being flexible in the aspect of, you know, availability. You may find a deal and it may not be exactly when you want to go, but you want to go to the place. You just take that deal. Like I said, if you have the vacation days, just go ahead and take those days for those specific dates of the trip that you found. If that's not the case like that, try to be flexible for like a couple of days. Try to travel during the week. Try to catch flights on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. 9 out of 10 times, flights on Tuesday and Wednesday will be cheaper than any other day. As far as being flexible, if you can catch those dates, then by all means, definitely try to do that if you can do that. Big tip when traveling abroad, please do not get caught up in the myths. A lot of people are afraid of hostels. They just hear bad things, like horror stories. They're just filthy, you know, all kinds of bad things happen, like, you know, people get kidnapped and stuff like that. It's just mainly not the case. I'm not oblivious to the fact that things can happen, you know what I mean? Things happen, but you can't be afraid of that. If that's the case, then just, if you really are afraid of that, then don't go at all. Being in a hotel is not going to stop that from happening to you. If that's going to happen to you, it can happen anywhere. That could happen outside of your house. Don't be afraid of things like that. Like, hostels are fine. I stay in hostels all of the time, and honestly, most of the time, a hostel may be your cheapest option. By all means, if staying in a room with other people is not your thing, if you just really can't do it, I mean, that's fine. There's other ways around that as well. Even with hostels though, you can book a private room. You can travel with a couple friends and book like a 4-bedroom with your friends. Or you can look into Airbnb. I support Airbnb to the end. Airbnb is like the greatest thing ever. You get the whole privacy of being at home, get to really experience a city like you live there. The first time I ever went to Paris, I stayed for 6 weeks, I believe. Me and my brother, we rented out an apartment, and we stayed in the apartment, we went grocery shopping, we cooked food, you know what I mean? Like, it's just great. You get that real, like, you get the real homey feel, like, of, you know, really experiencing the culture. You go to the grocery stores and all that stuff. I love it. Airbnb is great. Usually the hosts are great. I've never had an issue with Airbnb in any way, but overall, everything, it's the prices. The prices are unbeatable. You will never, well, not ever, let me not say absolute statements like that. Airbnbs, most of the time you'll catch a better deal with an Airbnb than you will with a hotel. So like I said, I'm a budget traveler. I try to save as much money as I can as I'm traveling. So like, along with that statement, like, don't get caught up in, like, when you see other people traveling and they're staying in 5-star resorts and, you know, just the best of the best. They have maids putting rose petals at their feet or anything like that. Don't get caught up in that and feel like you have to do that when you travel. You really don't. You really, like, don't just spend a bunch of extra money just so that you can take a picture and post it on Instagram. In all actuality, no one cares. No one cares that someone put towels at your feet as you walked in the door, wiped your feet off because you stepped in sand when you're walking off the beach. No one cares about those things in all actuality. So, I mean, don't get caught up in that. Like I said, I stay in hostels, Airbnbs, whatever. Just make sure that you have a great time while you're traveling. Like, go out, explore the city. Most of the time when I'm in a place, the place to sleep is, I'm literally only there to shower and to catch a few hours of sleep before I'm trying to get up and see what else the city has to offer. I'm never really in my place to stay anyway. That's why I don't mind as much. I mean, and most of that's how you get the most out of your, you know, most out of your experience, best bang for your buck. So, I mean, it's just, you know, a few things to think about. The next thing I want to talk about is budget airlines. Budget airlines are amazing. Like I said, I fly Spirit all the time. I fly Frontier all the time. Those airlines are great. I've never had any issues. People complain like, oh, they charge me for my bag. Just prepare for that. Plan ahead and everything will be okay. The fares are cheap because they want to be able to charge you for the things. If you plan ahead, they can't get you. I've never paid for an extra bag. I've never gotten to the gate and they said, oh, your bag's too big. You have to just plan ahead. It's all you have to do. You'll save a lot of money. You'll be able to travel a lot more than you are now. A big thing with traveling is a lot of people feel like they can't do it. Anyone can travel. I understand you may not have the most money. You may have a few dollars extra here and there, but it's all about if you really want to travel. So for instance, some new shoes came out. You just bought them. That's a plane ticket. That's a round trip ticket and maybe somewhere to stay. I've had some really, really cheap trips. For instance, I went to Phoenix probably about 6 months ago. And that trip only cost me, I think, about $250, like completely, like the flight and place to stay. I think I paid like $80 for the flight round trip. The other $170 was just for the place to stay. And of course there were cheaper options, but I mean, you know, I just decided to stay in something that, you know, that was really nice at the time. That was a cheap trip. Jordans cost $190 before taxes. So that's like what, $200, and you could just start small. Your first trip doesn't have to be to Tokyo or Johannesburg or anything like that. Just take a road trip and it could be anything. Travel is travel, and you can literally learn and experience and have an experience anywhere you go. I've gone to Jekyll Island, which is a city like South Georgia. Is kind of like an island. Well, obviously Jekyll Island. I've had a great time. I've had some great experiences. I rode my motorcycle down there. I didn't catch a plane or anything. I just rode my bike. It didn't cost me much. I just paid like what, $50 in gas there and back. Get a cheap hotel somewhere. You go to the beach, relax. You can afford a vacation if you want to be able to afford a vacation. I guarantee it. So now another thing is being able to find cheap flights. As I said before, being flexible is great. Being open to budget airlines is great, but where to look? A lot of people ask, where do you look? You can use, you know, the regular ones like Kayak and Priceline and Hotwire and things like that. Those are great. If you have social media, check out Watch Airfare, Watch Airfare. Follow Secret Flying. Secret Flying is great on Twitter. They post great deals all the time. If you have an iPhone, I'm sure they have an Android app. Check out the app Skiplagged. It'll even show you hidden city flights. Hidden city flights are basically a city that you'll lay over in. Let's just say I'm going from Philadelphia to Atlanta. Well, you want to get to Atlanta. It'll say Philly to maybe Charlotte. Sometimes those flights lay over in Atlanta, and what you would do is you just get off of the flight, and then that's the end of the trip. You made it to where you are. That's a hidden city ticket. What I will say is when you're using these search engines with these travel sites, what they're really good for is just showing you who is offering the flight. So when you find the flight, Spirit's offering the flight for $100 to Las Vegas, right? What you do is you then go to Spirit and you check their personal website, because a lot of the times those websites, they'll charge you fees and things like that just for using their service. Now it's free to search it. So, you have to use all of these things to your advantage. So like I said, you just go to Spirit's website and you may be able to catch the flight for $10, $15, $20 cheaper just because you're booking it directly through them. And a lot of times, a lot of these airlines, they'll have deals. You just check all the, the airlines, their deals. Usually they'll have like a deals tab or something. You just check that out and you may be able to put in a coupon code to, to get a few extra dollars off. That's just an option. But I do highly recommend going to each individual airline site when you are booking the flight, because a lot of the times it is cheaper. Now, sometimes it is cheaper through these websites and apps and things. So sometimes in your best interest, but just make sure to check. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope that I helped you out in any way, at least a little bit. If you have any questions, or you just want some trip advice on maybe my experiences that I've had in some of these places that I've been to, follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or even drop a comment below, and ask away. If I get enough questions or enough of the similar questions, I'll do a Q&A video. I hope I helped you guys out today. Make sure you smash the like button for me so I can make sure that you guys enjoy the video. I appreciate you guys watching, and thanks. I'll see you next time. Peace.